Hey there, my name's Terry Rice, and this is The Signal, which is brought to you by Fiverr. Today's guest is Jamie Brindle, a freelance veteran who spent the last 16 years working with everyone from local mom and pop shops to global powerhouses like Google, Netflix, Hillshire, and Lionsgate. He's built a thriving career on his own terms, and along the way, became the go to voice for freelancers looking to do the same. In 2020, Jamie started sharing practical, no fluff advice on TikTok and Instagram, and now reaches over 500,000 freelancers daily across social media. But he and his wife still work with clients every month, so their insights he shares come from the trenches, not a pedestal. Today, we're unpacking what it takes to build a sustainable freelance business, grow in the age of AI, and keep your freedom while increasing your income. Let's go ahead and get started. Jamie, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. It's a rare kind of overcast day in LA. So this isn't what we're paying for over here.
Well, it's overcast here in New York City as well, and we're used to this. So I can
Par for the course.
on how to navigate if you need.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll have to chat offline here. You help me get through this.
All right. But before we do that, how about you introduce yourself for more context for our listeners out here?
Yeah, hey guys, my name's Jamie Brindle. I run a production company out here in Los Angeles with my wife. We've been at it for, together almost a decade, but I've been freelancing since I was 17. Circa 2020, I started talking about it on the internet, trying to help out my fellow practitioners build their businesses, maybe save them from a little heartache, some of the lessons that I had to learn the hard way. And that's what's brought us here. Today, we're just, one of the best parts about this whole social media journey is that I've identified that no matter what service you offer, no matter whether you're a creative freelancer or just any range of freelancer, we're all kind of going through the same stuff. Everybody seems to be solving for the same 4 or 5 problems, at any given point in time. So it's been really really humbling and really enjoyable to connect with folks on that level.
Yeah, same here. And along those lines, you're also a Fiverr seller. Do you mind explaining like what got you on the platform and what your experience has been like at a high level?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big fan of diversifying your revenue pie as a freelancer, right? And you want as many avenues to lead generation as possible. And Fiverr is one of those avenues. Obviously, the job markets. More so than ever, though, we are on Fiverr as clients as we started scaling our freelance business, right? Because there comes a point where you're only one person, you can only do so much. And Fiverr has been instrumental in building out a team for us of really capable, really just badass creatives that get the job done.
With AI automating certain tasks, how should a freelancer adjust their price to reflect the value of their experience?
Yeah, I think a lot of freelancers assume that a client is always looking for the cheapest option, but I urge them to put themselves in the client's shoes, right? Imagine you're on the hook for solving a very important problem, right? Something that like is do or die for your business, or something that's going to solve a big problem for your business. Something that matters. It has to really matter for this thought experiment to work. Now in that situation, do you rush to the cheapest option? Or do you seek out the most expensive solution first and then work from there if your budget can't handle it, right? And that's us as a client, right? We were like, well, this is a big event for us. This is an important, a moment for us, and we want to brand it appropriately. We want something that's going to look good in our marketing. I'm not going to cheap out on this, right? So we went straight to the most expensive option, right? And I don't care that it's, that the freelancer only, spent who knows how much time on making a few edits. It was trained on her body of work from years, right? So it's that's what I'm paying for. I'm paying for her expertise, over the years. And if anything, a premium is deserved for the brevity, with which we got the product.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like discounting things or looking for a discount on things that are very meaningful. So I live here in New York City, and on the subway, you'll see all these ads for LASIK surgery, like eye surgery. Like 25% off. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to get a deal on that. Like, these are my
Yeah,
eyes. Like, I will pay a
exactly.
premium for that.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a coupon, any of that stuff. Like, just give me the best you have out there. I'm not trying to save money on it. So that mindset shift, I think, is helpful. First of all, for people who are working with sellers, but also as someone who is a seller, like, look, just because you use AI to create this content, like the value of your knowledge has not changed. Just because you didn't work harder, I'm using air quotes to make it happen, does not mean the impact it's going to have on your client will be less. Therefore, you should not charge less. And along those lines, like, I just know you're an expert at this. So let's dive deeper into the mindset of a freelancer. Like, what mindset shifts are most important for a freelancer who wants to go from being a service provider to more of a trusted strategic partner? Because I think that really is the future. It's not just like, I can do these tasks. It's like, I am a thought partner who can help you, yes, get this done, but also help you understand other aspects of your business as well.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it with strategic partner, right? That's what a freelancer is. That is. I mean, maybe 15 years ago, freelancer meant employee for rent, time for money, but that's not what it means anymore. Companies are bringing in freelancers to solve massive, massive problems for them right now. It's just, I mean, it's becoming the standard almost. And so, thinking of yourself as a strategic partner is very important, but also positioning your offer as such, right? You're not a photographer, right? It's you. What problem are you solving with photography? You're not a writer. What problem are you solving with writing? It's usually one of the three, right? You're either helping them make more money, you're saving them time, or you're increasing their reputation. So you think of that transformation. It's like, yes, I will, take your money and turn it into more money. And the machine that I use to do that looks a lot like email copy, but really it's a money printing machine, right? And so that's the way you talk about it. Nobody really cares about the service per se, or the process that you go through to get them from A to B. They just care that you get them from A to B, as effectively and as efficiently as possible.
As you're talking, it makes me think that, or realize that, a lot of sellers on Fiverr should change their bio to be more like a LinkedIn bio, where it's like about the value you provide, not just like, I can edit your PDF or something like that, right? So it's like this simple shift in how you're presenting yourself that can have a huge impact on your revenue in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, niching down comes in all shapes and sizes. And one of the most important parts is the offer, right? Is like, are you solving a specific problem for a specific person? I think is one of the most critical questions you can ask yourself. And, the specificity is rewarded there in that answer. So it's, if you can get really specific about the problem you're solving, then when that person comes across your profile on Fiverr, they stop dead in their tracks, right? Because it's like, why even bother? Why would I go to one of these 800 generalists when this person is talking about the very thing that I'm solving for right now, right? And there's plenty. I think a lot of freelancers are a little allergic to that concept because they think that they're saying no to work. It's that scarcity mindset. And really, when you think about, how big this place is, and how many companies there are out there, and the fact that you really only need a handful of them to keep you pretty set for the year, you're going to be just fine with getting real specific here.
Yeah, let's double click on that, like in regards to like business development or systems in general, because on my end the other day, I caught myself. I was posting on LinkedIn, which I do every day. You guys should all follow me. I was about to post on LinkedIn and like tweaking a hook for my post, but then I realized there was someone else who was waiting for me to submit a proposal for a product that we're going to work on. So this person's like literally waiting to pay me, just send a proposal. And instead I'm like trying to find a better hook. And I was like, wait, this is dumb. I create content on LinkedIn to bring in business. There's business waiting to be had. And I'm sitting here trying to find a word that rhymes with orange, right? So that's when I came up with this process. Like, hey, look, it has to be biz dev before branding. Because my brand's already established well enough. Like biz dev before branding. Actually go ahead and pitch people instead of just, again, tweaking my posts. and also trying to find ways where I can make that an integration to my life as opposed to an interruption. So what I started doing is when I'm at the gym warming up, I'm just DMing people, just keeping conversations going, just nurturing my network. So that way
Love
it
it.
doesn't seem like I'm wasting my time. Like you got to stretch your hamstrings anyways. You might go and build your network. So I'm wondering, like, what other systems or routines would you encourage other freelancers to try that'll help them get their work done without sacrificing their quality of life?
Oh man, that's a whole podcast episode. That's a big question, right? But I would say, you know, I'm a big fan of um, splitting your efforts into development and delivery, right? So business development is one set of tasks, and then fulfilling client work and delivering it is another set of tasks. And I try to maintain a 50-50 ratio there. Anytime that you're too busy um, delivering on client work that you can't be developing new business, you got to raise your rates. You got to do something. You bring in subcontractors, what have you, to get that ratio back to where it belongs. Anytime that you are spending all of your time developing your business and none of your time getting paid to do any client work, you're doing something wrong on the development side, right? You got to make a change there. So I think that's the best way that I can organize those efforts is thusly, and whether that's half your day, if you're looking at your 9 to 5, daily schedule, just take this block and put it in development, take this block and put it in delivery, or it's half your week, maybe Mondays and Wednesdays are you days, or days that you build your business, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are delivery days, and Fridays are admin days. Like, whatever works for you. I think that's the play, is to just keep it structured in that way.
Yeah, I agree. And you have to really enforce those boundaries though,
Oh,
because that's how I set my day up as well. And this guy reached out to me on LinkedIn. He's like, "Hey, I'd love to have like virtual coffee with you." I'm like, "Bro, I already got coffee here, but I'll play along, right?"
yeah,
And he's like, "Can you meet like Tuesday at 10 a.m.?" And I'm like, "I don't take any calls like this before 2 p.m. I just don't."
yeah,
And there was a little pushback from him, but eventually he's like, "Okay, cool. Can I pay you to speak earlier?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take consulting calls earlier,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't take I don't take networking calls earlier." So
That's
it
a
might
great.
seem rude, but you really do got to enforce those boundaries.
It's so, and that's the beauty of freelancing, is it's choose your own adventure. You're setting the rules, right? Like, I think that's so many people, maybe it's because they come out of a 9 to 5 world, or because that's just kind of what they're trained on, growing up. They think, oh, clients calling, need to answer, or oh, email just came through here at 10 at night, need to stop what I'm doing and answer. And that's not the case. So we did a chat with Rich Webster, he's a Instagram like productivity guru in our freelancing program, and he only takes, and I don't know if this is still the case, so don't quote me on this, but at the time he only took client calls and only answered client emails on Tuesdays. That was if you and but he set those rules at the beginning, those rules of engagement, right? Where it's, hey, listen, I only talk to clients on Tuesday. That's for you. That's for all of my clients, right? Because you guys are paying me to work on this stuff, not to answer emails, right? And so, and everybody's, if you set those rules at the beginning, everybody signs on to them. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll make sure that we've got whatever notes we want to give you, whatever questions we want to ask you, we'll have them in your inbox Monday night, and we can chat on Tuesday. That's pretty extreme, but it was illustrative of the fact that it is choose your own adventure, and there are it's perfectly within the realm of possibility that you can live that way with your freelance business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as the market is receptive to that, I think it's a great idea, right? If you say I only work on Tuesdays and no one wants to work with you at all, it's like, okay, maybe you'll work Wednesday, but
Yeah.
but otherwise, go for it. And I'm gonna ask you another difficult question. So take a
Okay.
breath, like loosen up a little bit, whatever you got to do. But when you think about AI, do you see as the biggest opportunity for freelancers to use AI, not just to replace their work, but to free up time and scale smarter?
Yeah, that is a big question. There are so many opportunities and it's moving so quickly. Like there's probably 3 new opportunities since we started talking, right? 3 new AI apps have been developed since we started talking. So there is definitely a little bit of that going on where it's you don't want to go all in on one piece of software because tomorrow when the better option is going to come out. So I understand that consternation, but I think that on a macro level, looking at AI, freelancers can be using it as kind of their co-CEO, right? It's their business partner, right? Here's the thing that I'm thinking of doing. What do you think of this? Okay, now what apps should I be using? You could be asking AI these questions to then send you to an AI app, right? So I think that from a strategy level, AI can be really helpful, really useful. Even just validating concepts, like you say you go on a walk and you come up with what you think is a really good one. You're like, okay, I think this is a pretty good lead development tactic. And 2 years ago, you would have to take that show on the road and test it to get the data to know if you're really onto something here, if you're barking up the right tree. And there were smart ways to go about doing that, but they were expensive either time or money. Now you get that idea, you come back and you have all of AI at your fingertips to say, who else has done this? How did it work for them? What were some of the lessons that I can take away from that failure? You can get really specific on the strategy side and start mapping out, just mapping out your lead generation efforts or your fulfillment efforts, or building out a new offer, or hey, what's something that I could be doing for this client to fulfill in a way that almost guarantees repeat business. All of that stuff, you can have those conversations with AI now, and it's informed by the entirety of the internet, right? So it's not making up the answers, it's going out and finding them for you. So that's super valuable, I think. Another good one is anything that requires an iterative process can definitely be lightened by AI and made significantly more efficient.
Yeah, I'd agree. And even like your SOPs, your standard operating procedures for those processes can be improved. And I take it a bit of a step further with AI because I'm like, hey, give me advice on how to do stuff, right? But then I'll say like, okay, based on what you said and my time constraints, meaning I don't really start working until about 10:30. I have to leave around 5 to get my kids. When can I do all this crap? And then sometimes it'll like rewrite it like, well, actually, upon reflection, maybe, maybe I don't have time for all that stuff. So using it to design your life is a very valuable approach that I think a lot of people don't necessarily use, but that could help just like streamline your systems as well.
That's pretty smart. I like that a lot.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. So we're having a cordial conversation here. It's about to get controversial. You ready?
Oh boy.
All right. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. First of all, like tell us about your newsletter. And then second of all, do you ever use AI to create your content for your newsletter or elsewhere?
There's no necessarily official name for it. We'll call it the Jamie Brindle freelancing newsletter. But it's you can get it at jamiebrindle.io/newsletter. Or if you're feeling lazy, just type in jamiebrindle.io and click on the word newsletter. It goes out to over 30,000 freelancers every week, and it's we try to keep it as practical as possible over here. That's kind of our guiding principle is, will a freelancer benefit from this today or tomorrow morning? Will they be able to take this and put it to work for their business today? As opposed to just kind of the more theoretical stuff that is, abound on the internet. No hate, but I'm just a practical guy. So that's what the newsletter is all about. In terms of using AI to develop the content, we have our merry band of freelancers that we work with, and we actually encourage them to use AI in delivery because it's better for them and it's better for us, right? It allows them to iterate on ideas. We have our weekly calls, and we test out our theories, and then she goes and she our copywriter Hannah will go and write out a newsletter and deploy AI against it and make it even better. On my content side, on social media, hell yeah, I use AI, right? It's like shamelessly. I think that the people that are railing against AI are in for a hard lesson. And I have found it a bit of my my duties as kind of a freelancer coach here on the internet have been updated with trying to help people see the light here. There are plenty of people that are excited about it, but for like every 16 people that are excited about AI, I encounter one or two that are very anti, and it's a fact of life. Like I try to tell them, you're going to be using it in 5 years. There's no putting the genie back in the bottle. And so you might as well start getting comfortable with it now and understanding what's possible, right? I liken it to when Photoshop came out, way back when, and all the graphic designers were seriously concerned that their entire industry just disappeared, because they're thinking, well, why would a client hire me to design this poster for them when they can just put this disc in and or put, I guess it was a floppy at that point. I don't know how young the audience is here, but they just put this software in and design it themselves. Well, of course, we know now with the benefit of hindsight that the answer was the clients go, I'm not going to learn how to maximize this piece of software. I'll pay you to do it, right? And the designers that got efficient at Photoshop won. It's the same with AI. The same clients that didn't have time to learn how to write an email effectively don't have time to learn how to use AI to write an email effectively, right? So it's an asset for freelancers.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I mean, I use it a lot for my content too. I think the only time it becomes a problem is when someone's using AI to share unvetted information or to position themselves as an expert who knows this information internally, as opposed to someone who just like used ChatGPT to come up with it. So
Yeah.
any other use case, I'm cool with it. But if you're like faking who you are, like, then it's not a good look.
But I would say I agree wholeheartedly. But I think that we as, consumers, it's the same as pre-AI when somebody would be bullshitting on the internet about something, and you can spot it. This person doesn't have that primary lived experience, right? They're just mimicking what, this other big influencer said online, right? So you already see it on LinkedIn, for instance, where 8 people will post basically the same thing, and whether that was because of AI or not, like the result is the same, which is it doesn't come across as exciting or valuable, right? So now then somebody could come in with a real hot take that's super valuable, and whether AI or not, that take will do well, So it's pretty much the same rules. It's just AI. I guess helps more people play the game.
Yeah. Everybody has a jet now, out of nowhere. It's just
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. 6-pack abs. I dig it.
Yeah.
So let's double click on this one more time. I mean, there's a lot of talk about AI replacing creative work, and we've talking about this to an extent already. But what's your take on where freelancers should double down to stay relevant, not just today, but the next 3 to 5 years?
All business is the exchange of money for solutions. There's no need to overcomplicate that, right? So the next 3 or 5 years, if you double down on getting really good at solving a really big problem, you'll do just fine. It has little to nothing to do with the software you use to solve the problem or whether or not you're using AI, right? It's just if you make your business about solving this problem so well that that people about identifying the problem, right, so well that people absolutely need. That's a pain pill, not a vitamin, right? That's for an example for all you freelancers. It's like if I messaged you, somebody that about my career, about the 500,000 people that I give advice to on the internet every day. I message you directly and say, Terry, I can guarantee you $80,000 a month in business for the next 2 months. And then when we're done with that, I'm going to hand you over the lead generation engine I did it with, and that's going to cost you 20 grand. You would go find the money. Right? It was like and if you couldn't, you'd work until you had it, and then you'd run to come pay me the money to give you that, right? So that's the type of offer I'm talking about. It's like that, because that is so obviously a solution to a pain that freelancers are having. So if you can get that kind of an offer in front of the right person, right? So it's like, now if I brought that offer to a bunch of millionaire entrepreneurs, they would all say, not really interested in that right now, right? So that's where the niche comes in handy. So it's like, okay, I'm going to bring this to a bunch of, startup or kind of like intermediate freelancers, that would really match really well with this offer. If you do that experiment, that matchmaking experiment, and just like make your next 3 years about getting really good at the offer and really good at the niche, and really good at telling them about it, right? You're going to do just fine. And AI, just let it serve you on those efforts, right? Just let it, help you hone in the offer, help you deliver in a way that guarantees, that they'll say yes to the next one. Let it help you tell people about it, right? Let it help you with your marketing. You can iterate on ads. You can, however you're spreading the word. If it's organic content, it'll help you on that front. But don't lose the plot here, right? Don't get in the weeds on the AI thing. The point is that you're solving problems. You're trading solutions for money, and let AI assist you in that endeavor.
Jamie, this has been great. I mean, one of my main key takeaways here is artificial intelligence is only really useful if you start with natural intelligence. So thanks for giving us the guide.
Write that one down. That's good. That's your next LinkedIn post.
That's a bar. I appreciate it. So thanks for giving us the guidance to get what we're trying to get out of the tool, based on our outcomes that we're looking for our business and our lives. So we appreciate you.
Hey, it's my pleasure. This stuff, if you can't tell, this stuff is fun for me to talk about. So we develop a whole series on this.
Yeah. Stay tuned for part 2, everybody.